Hello everyone, today's class is on inflammation. So first coming to the definition of inflammation. So what happens? A vascularized tissue, that means a organ which is supplied by the blood, that is vascularized tissue, okay, that will recognize infection or damaged cell, okay. Either it could be infection or some cells that are damaged, okay, those are recognized. Then what happens? Various cells and molecules, cells like leukocytes, all those, okay, cells and molecules from the circulation, they come into the site of infection, okay. So first vascular tissue recognize infection and damaged cell. These cells and molecules from the circulation, from the blood, goes to these damaged cells and eliminate them or destroy them. That is known as inflammation. So what are the causes of these inflammation? First, it could be infections. Infections could be bacteria, fungi, virus, and cell necrosis. Necrosis due to physical injury or due to chemical injury. Then various foreign bodies like suture, dirt, etc. Immune reaction. It could be autoimmune disease wherein the cells of our own body destroy our own cell. So these are the causes of inflammation. So what is the first and foremost step in inflammation? That is recognition. So the body should recognize something is not right, or some invader has come, some foreign material is there. So that recognition is by what? By our cellular receptor or by various cellular proteins, okay. Various circulating proteins and various cellular receptor, they recognized the foreign body or damaged cell. This is the first and foremost step in inflammation, that is recognition. So I told you about cellular receptor. What are these cellular receptor? So these cellular receptors are for microbes. Say for some bacteria, staphylococcus, there is one receptor, okay. Those cellular receptors for microbes, it could be extracellular or could be intracellular. So in a cell, they saw a microbe, okay, it has got the circulating cellular receptor, which could be on outer surface or inside. It could be extracellular or intracellular, okay. So these are known as toll-like receptor. So any pathology resident students, so this toll-like receptor is an important question. If you want a class on toll-like receptor, please leave in the comment section below. I'll try to cover it in the next class, okay. So first step is after cellular receptor, the cell damaged, how they are recognized. So cell damage, they liberate certain substance, or a molecule gets altered because of the damage. So they are recognized by certain cytosolic receptors. So that's how the cell damage is recognized in inflammation. For example, uric acid, it is due to DNA breakdown, or ATPase due to damage of mitochondria. These substances are liberated, thereby it is recognized and inflammation begins. When the receptor gets activated, they activate something known as multiprotein cytosolic complex, okay, multiprotein cytosolic complex, which is known as inflammasome, okay. That will activate interleukin 1, that will recruit the leukocytes and thereby inducing the inflammation. We'll see this step in very much detail, okay. So one is recognition by cellular receptor or cell damage substances, okay, by these process. Apart from that, just the Fc receptor on the antibody or a complement which carries a receptor on the leukocyte, that also helps in recognition and induction of the inflammation. So coming to acute inflammation in detail, okay. So in acute inflammation, first step is dilation of the blood vessel, there is increased permeability, there is emigration, okay. We'll see each in detail. So dilation of blood vessel. So when the blood vessel is dilated, there is sudden gush of blood flow, so resulting in increased blood flow. Okay, later when it is dilated, so there is stasis of blood flow. This word is also important. I'll tell you why. Okay, there is stasis of blood flow. Increased permeability, which will enable the plasma proteins and leukocytes to leave the circulation. So in the blood vessel we have leukocytes, WBCs. So when there is increased permeability, what happens? Those lymphocytes will come out into the extravascular space. Okay, that is increased microvascular permeability. Then there is emigration. So emigration is nothing but the leukocytes from the circulation it go and accumulate in the site of injury, so thereby eliminating the offending agent. So this is known as emigration. We'll see each in detail. This is just a brief about acute inflammation. Okay, so first coming to vasodilation. So why this vasodilation occurs? It is due to histamines. Okay, this is the foremost earliest sign. So when there is increased vasodilation, so there is increased blood flow, thereby we get redness or increase in heat okay. This is due to vasodilation. Next, increased vascular permeability. Why this increased vascular permeability? One is due to contraction of the endothelium, another is endothelial injury. So what is contraction of endothelium? So here is blood flow. Okay, normal endothelium. So normal endothelium. Okay, so when endothelium gets contracted, so what happens? There is this much space between them, so there is a easy permeability, so thereby increase vascular permeability. Apart from that, endothelial injury, what happens in case of endothelial injury? This whole endothelium is damaged, so what happens? There is space. Okay, so there is increased vascular permeability. So now we know that there is vasodilation, there is increased vascular permeability. Now what happens to these leukocytes? They'll come out. Okay, so what is the help of these leukocyte recruitment? They help in phagocytosis, they help in repair of the tissue also. Okay, now this leukocytes from the blood vessel, so this is a blood vessel, leukocytes from the blood vessel to the site of injury or an infectious agent, it is a multi-step process. Okay, it is a multi-step process. It requires various adhesion molecules, various cytokines. These are known as chemokines. Okay, this is important. So in easy way to understand, you need to remember following steps. Okay, let me give you an example. So your friend calls you telling that there is some emergency, come fast. Okay, you take the bus. Okay, and you reach his bus stop. Okay, so you are in the last seat, so you will get up and you will move towards the door of the bus. Okay, this is the first step. Then you will get down of the bus to enter the bus stop. Okay, that is the second step. From there you take taxi to his house. That is the third step. Okay, remember this step. So this step is what occurs in the blood vessel. Okay, this step to this step is from the leukocyte out of the blood vessel in the extravascular space to the site of injury. Okay, we'll see. So first in the lumen, so you remember in the bus, okay, there is margination, there is rolling, there is adhesion. These three steps occurs in the blood vessel. So and then from the blood vessel, from the endothelium to the vessel wall, okay, that is the second step. Then margination, that is through chemotactic stimuli. We'll see in each in detail. Okay, margination, what happens? So there are blood cells, there is always normally centriaxial flow, central flow, that is blood cells are in the center, on either side there are plasma. So margination means what margination means what happens? These blood cells will come to the periphery, that is the normal central axial flow is lost. So blood cell come near the endothelium, they come near the margin. So this is known as margination. Okay. Next what happens? Rolling. They slowly start rolling, like alternate attachment and detachment on the endothelium. This is known as rolling. Okay, and finally after this rolling they adhere to one particular endothelium. That is, finally adhesion takes place. Like the blood flow through the pebbles over which the stream runs. That means a streamline flow, okay, a small stream. There are pebbles, there are small stones, okay, they are very stagnant, they are very much attached to the ground, okay. They over that, how much ever the gush of water flows, it will not move. In the similar way, the leukocytes adhere so much so to the endothelium that the gush of the blood doesn't have any effect. So the final adhesion is termed as pebble over which the stream runs. So this rolling is brought about by selectins. So if you want to know, there are different types of selectins. There are L selectins, there are E selectins, there are P selectins, okay. And this final adhesion is brought about by integrins. Now trans-emigration or transmigration or diapedesis. So this is brought about by chemokines and collagenase. So leukocyte which got adhered to the endothelium, okay, they'll pass through the endothelium. Okay, they'll pass through the endothelium, they break the basement membrane, okay, to enter the extravascular space. This is nothing but your example of getting down of the bus into the bus station, okay. Now what happens, you're in the bus stop, you have to go to your friend's place who, okay, so here in this case it is the leukocyte in the extravascular space going towards the infection site. That is the process known as chemotaxis. So why this attracts the leukocyte? Because of chemokines or chemotaxis, which could be exogenous substance or it could be endogenous substance. So exogenous substance, the bacterial product. So bacteria produces certain substances which will attract the leukocyte to the site of infection, or endothelial substance like endogenous substance like cytokines or complement, which will make the leukocyte move towards the infection site. Next, what happens, there are numerous leukocytes, okay. These leukocytes are at the site of the infection, okay. But they are very much the nature of the leukocyte infiltrate varies with the age of the inflammatory response and the type of stimuli. So for example, if you take acute inflammation, the usually it is neutrophils from first 24 hours, okay, later replaced by monocytes, which is about 24 to 48 hours. So why this increase in neutrophils? That is probably because there are increase in number of neutrophils, okay. Now the leukocytes are recruited, okay. Here is the offending agent, okay. Leukocytes are recruited around it by the process of migration, by the process of transmigration, by the process of chemotaxis. So all are near the infectious agent. Now what they'll do, they'll destroy this infectious agent by the process known as phagocytosis. Okay, so we'll see in detail about the phagocytosis in the next lecture. Okay, so what is the take home message in this? So why this molecular concept understanding of inflammation is very much needed? So because when there is excess of inflammation, for example, you take the example of gout, okay. In case of gout, what happens, there is excess of inflammation because of the increased uric acid. So again you can think uric acid is an damaged product, okay, that is recognized. So leukocytes are recruited, there is inflammation, so it is not good, it is destroying our own tissue. So what happens, we need a treatment part. So this helps in understanding of this molecular concept. So what happens, we have agent that blocks the TNF, tumor necrosis factor, that is a major cytokine. So you know how the cytokines works now. So you block this cytokine, it is a major cytokine, the inflammation can be controlled by this, okay. This is a take home message. The molecular understanding of the leukocyte recruitment and migration has provided us a large number of potential therapeutic targets for controlling the harmful inflammation, okay. So the acute inflammation or inflammation is always incomplete without telling the cardinal signs. I have kept it at the end because all of you know this from your kindergarten class. Okay, so what are the cardinal signs of inflammation? Rubor, tumor, Kala, and dollar. So rubor is nothing but redness, that is due to increased blood flow. Tumor is nothing but because of swelling, that is exudation of fluid. Okay, because of increased vascular permeability along with the leukocytes, even the fluid are exudated. Okay, and Kala is nothing but the heat due to increased blood flow, and dolor is nothing but the pain because stretching of the pain receptors and nerves by the inflammatory exudate or various chemical mediators. Also the fifth one is functiolesa, that is nothing but loss of function. It is a pain or disruption of the tissue structure. Thank you.